Evening. Before we get into tonight's update, we have to go over a quick synopsis of what's going on. First, we got Bitcoin up about just over 10% or 2,500 points today, just over 27,600. We need to talk about the critical levels here to see if we can push over a major resistance and possibly push higher, but we'll talk about those levels. We'll talk about XRP as it's pushed over slightly that 38-cent level, and we'll see if this is finally on attempt 7, the chance that gets over that falling channel or falling resistance. And is this the time that we can finally push up to these higher levels? And we'll see how high that could possibly be up. And remember, when XRP sub 40 cents, you continue to buy in and you continue to stack it up. And then if it goes sub 20 cents, you can buy much, much more. But in the event that it doesn't happen, we want to be prepared either way. And we've been waiting since $1.66 when we liquidated to buy sub 40 cents. So we've got to stick to the plan and do what we're supposed to do. Also, we need to take a look at the $2 trillion package that the Fed, it's all confirmed. And this is what I talked about before. If we do any kind of quantitative easing and any kind of reversal here, so it's a $2 trillion package for the Fed that they're printing out basically because of these banks not being able to cover their, basically going bankrupt between the 3 crypto banks. We're starting to have a domino effect here. And with this $2 trillion package, we're starting to get a pump up here. Even though the futures or the Dow markets were down, the Dow was on 400 points. You had the NASDAQ down over 100. You had the S&P down like 50 something. Even though that happened, with this package being printed at $2 trillion, there's money being floated around now. And this is nothing more than quantitative easing, and they might not say it. But this is the route where we get these little pumps here, maybe a little bit more than little pumps, as we can see Bitcoin's up 10% today. But now we have to usher in hyperinflation. And that's going to make things much, much worse. And now our dollar is going to be worth even less. As you can see, Bitcoin's on a tear right now. It's over 27,600. So we have to get into the charts and pay very close attention to this. Make sure that like button, as it really does help push me through the analytics. And we'll take a look at all this and more after the intro. Good evening, 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, March 17th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So as we can see, XRP's at 3812. I wanted to come on at this very important time because we've talked about for quite some time, can we break this falling channel resistance? Some, if you don't want to call it a falling channel, just call it the falling resistance, because this is the 8th time now we've come over here and we've been rejected for the first 7 times. So if we're looking at this, this is a very critical downtrending resistance, and it will push us into the next major area. So what rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is just the major times, 6 major times. But if you take the micro levels, you can actually see there was a few more hits in between, but I'm just taking the major areas. Now, can this be the first time we actually break this downtrending resistance here and actually make a move higher? So far, we've had a few wicks up, but we haven't been able to make anything of it. So we're going to see if we can gain a little bit of a volume spike here and actually push up and push out. Generally, when you start pushing it this many times, eventually we're going to have to break out and try to retest that 432 drop point if it continues in this way. So for the past several weeks, it's been, can we break the falling channel support or break above the falling channel resistance? As that's the kind of pattern that I've put out here. So we're going to have to see right now. Now that we got over this 38 cents, this is where it becomes very interesting. Do we break up and out and end up at the 432 level before we decide next? Or if we look at the XRP USD chart, the second one, the grand pattern, the all-time chart, we're coming up to this resistance now, and it's right about the 383 level. And that's going to be your ultimate downtrending resistance to tell us that, in fact, if we broke out of this, and if we did, now we've got top-end potential starting to push up towards that 43 cent level before we break out even higher towards that 498. So that opens up the window, and we've talked about this on the other chart. We'll go to the perpetual futures chart because there's a reason why. Actually, you know what? No. I did it on the USD chart. And we can very clearly see when we move this out. If we held this area and did not lose this uptrend, I said I thought we could have a breakout from the 365 level, which could have happened back here. So I suppose this, you could have moved this over here instead. But it's the 365 level that we're talking about. It doesn't matter where it's at. It's just if it holds this level, it's this uptrending support. And right now it could do it over here. But it's when it breaks out of this uptrending support. Was that like the 3.6? What was it? It's right around here. But if we did it back here, we can even measure it still. But it's supposed to be for when it's back here. You have a breakout point. And it shows exactly if we were to hold this level. Whoops, sorry. It's right here on the X. But if we were to hold this level, you'd have a 37% breakout. And it's marked from the 363 level. And right now, we've held this level. But if we were to break out from here, it's possible it does do it a little bit earlier. But we have this downtrending resistance here that we have to break above at the 393. And at top end potential, there is a chance. And it's not even top end, but we would have to hit here first before making a more catastrophic push up. So if you're watching this right now, the bottom line is here to keep it simplistic. This downtrending resistance, we need to break above this. And that's about the 383 level, which you can see we're coming up very quickly to it. And I would anticipate with this kind of a push up, we have a futures shortened weekend here. I mean, if there was ever a time to break up past this downtrending resistance, this would be the time. Like I said, that 3836, we'll say the 384. So if you say it break above the 384 level, and hold it, we can start to push out and try to break this, or push up this 424 level. There's a few levels in between, though, that we have to watch that are areas of concern. We've got this downtrending resistance here. You break out of there ultimately, and you got the, you have the this level right here at the 412 and the 432 over the top. So we do have a few areas that we could get stopped at, but honestly, that 432 looks like it'd be a very big area of concern if we were to break out of this downtrending resistance. It's taken so long to do it, but once we do it, there is an opening up here. We have some confluency up at this 43 cent area, this 425, then 434, approximately 432. But ultimately, I think we would push up in there because we're getting the broader support right now. And with the Fed doing what they're saying, that opens up opportunities here. So what I'm alluding to is the $2 trillion Fed bazooka trigger shock, hyperinflation warning, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto price boom. So basically the Fed loaned $160 billion to banks and $140 billion to FDIC insurers, but they did a $2 trillion package is what they are pushing through. So they're printing money, they're pushing it too far, and it's going to cause hyperinflation. And once that happens, the US dollar ends up getting hit very, very hard, and it ends up making our push at the banks. And I think we're going to have bank runs. You can expect bank runs to happen, especially because the FDIC insurers, they basically used all of their money to bail out everybody within these first, with the Silicon Valley Bank and Silvergate. They basically used all of their money. So they're only supposed to insure up to $250K. Supposedly they're backing it all, which when you see what's happening in the bigger patterns and the bigger scheme, this is not good news. Like the Fed bails out banks to the tune of $300 billion. Yeah, you might be able to get your money out of the bank, but that money you're taking out of the bank is not going to be able to buy as much. So if an egg costs $10 a carton, but because they do this, it costs $15, is that $20 bill really worth as much if you're only getting $5 back instead of 10? So a lot of people are going to choose to take their money out of the dollar, and they're going to start to put it into gold and silver and real money so they can hedge against, you know, the incoming and impending doom of the U.S. dollar. Right when that news came out, in the last 24 hours, the U.S. dollar is nosediving. It's down to the 103.67 support, and if we lose that, this is where we can break down and have huge, huge drops down here to like the 101.16 level. So pay attention. I got to go deal with my son. He needs some help right now, so hopefully this update found you well. Make sure to hit that like button if you got anything out of this update, and also hit that subscribe button as I work very hard. I haven't missed a day in 2 years, and I'd appreciate it if you join the other 15,700 subscribers. And then if you want to trade XRP on BITGET and or MEXC, that's in the video description below and or the pinned comments. And also if you want to join Tom's Army, that's also in the video description below and or pinned comments. There's a way to donate XRP as well if you would like to do that. Make sure you're paying attention to this moment. Make sure you're paying attention to Bitcoin. See if we can get over these critical levels of resistance. Because right now where Bitcoin's at just under 27,600. We've got this uptrending support, which will be the first area to hold at 26,942. So look at us to retest 26,900 would be your major area. If we hold 26,900, we could push up this weekend and try to hit this 28,466 area. Hashtag be better, do better. Hashtag FUD assassins. And remember, help one person each and every day. Because if I don't do my part and you don't do your part, what the hell is the point?